On a still night, when the world has settled into quiet, there exists a place in the Scottish Highlands where water and sky meet in perfect stillness. Loch Ness stretches long and deep, cradled by ancient hills that have watched over its surface for countless centuries. And on nights when the moon hangs full and silver above the water, something shifts in the air, a gentleness descends, a sense of time moving slower than it does anywhere else. The gentle lapping of the waves on the shores of Loch Ness becomes a rhythm, steady and soothing, inviting you to let go of the day's restlessness and sink into a state of deep relaxation. The loch is a place of quiet mystery, but not the kind that unsettles. Rather, it is the kind that invites contemplation, that asks you to sit with wonder rather than fear. In the moonlight, the water becomes like polished silver, reflecting the pale glow back up to the sky in an endless, gentle conversation between earth and heaven. The hills that surround the loch are dark silhouettes now, their rugged edges softened by shadow and distance. They have stood there for millions of years, patient and unmoved, and in their presence, the worries of your day begin to feel very small indeed. The shores of Loch Ness are lined with ancient stones, worn smooth by time and water. Some say these stones remember everything they have witnessed, the rise and fall of clans, the passage of seasons without number, the quiet moments of solitude that countless visitors have sought here. If you were to walk along these shores now, in the moonlight, you might feel the presence of all those who came before, all those who sought peace in this remote corner of the world. The stones would be cool beneath your feet, and the air would carry the scent of heather and deep water, a smell that is entirely of this place and no other. The water itself holds a particular quality on moonlit nights. It is neither fully awake nor fully asleep, but suspended in a state between the two, much like the state you are drifting toward now. The surface moves with the gentlest of undulations, small waves catching the moonlight and releasing it again in a pattern that repeats endlessly, hypnotically. There is no urgency to these waves, no crash or surge. They are patient and eternal, the kind of movement that has the power to slow your heartbeat and deepen your breath without you even noticing it is happening. The history of Loch Ness stretches back through the mists of time. Long before the modern world intruded upon it, this place was sacred to the people who lived in these highlands. They understood something about the loch that perhaps we have forgotten, that there are places on this earth that hold a particular kind of power, a power that is gentle rather than fierce, that heals rather than harms. The Picts who lived here centuries ago would have known the loch in all its moods, would have understood the particular magic of it under moonlight, when the boundary between the seen and unseen grows thin and permeable. In more recent times, the loch has become known for something else entirely, the stories, the legends, the sense that there might be something unknown dwelling in its depths. But tonight, we are not concerned with those stories. Tonight, we are simply here to sit with the loch as it is, in all its quiet beauty. The moonlight does not reveal mysteries so much as it softens them, transforms them into something dreamlike and gentle. Whatever secrets the loch might hold, they are not the kind that demand to be solved. They are the kind that simply exist, part of the landscape, part of the atmosphere, part of the reason why this place feels so profoundly peaceful. As you settle deeper into relaxation, imagine yourself standing on one of those ancient shores. Feel the cool air on your skin, the slight dampness that always lingers near water, even on the clearest nights. The ground beneath you is solid and real, made of earth and stone that has been here far longer than you have been alive. There is something deeply comforting in that knowledge, the certainty that this place will continue to exist long after you have gone, that it will continue to offer its quiet solace to those who seek it. The moon continues its slow arc across the sky, casting its silver light across the water in an ever-changing pattern. Sometimes the light seems to concentrate itself into a single brilliant pathway, a road of moonlight stretching from the far shore toward you. Other times it spreads itself more diffusely across the entire surface, turning the whole loch into something that glows from within. This transformation happens gradually, almost imperceptibly, the kind of change that you notice only if you are paying close attention, and paying close attention is something that becomes easier and easier as your eyes grow heavier and your thoughts grow slower. The hills that frame the loch are sometimes called mountains by those who do not know them, but they are mountains in the old way, worn down by time and weather into rounded shapes that speak of age and endurance. Ben Urquhart rises on one side, its slopes dark and mysterious in the moonlight. Urquhart Castle stands on its heights, ancient stones watching over the water much as they have for centuries. The castle has seen much in its time: conquest and loss, occupation and abandonment. But on a night like this, when the moon is full and the water is calm, all of that history seems to settle into a kind of peaceful rest, as if the castle itself has learned, over the long years, to let go of struggle and simply be. The water of the loch is remarkably still tonight, disturbed only by the gentlest of waves, the kind that seem to move more from habit than from any real force. Loch Ness is deeper than most people realize, and that depth contributes to its sense of calm. The deep places of the earth have always held a kind of peace, a quietness that comes from being far from the surface and all its noise. The water that surrounds you now has been here for thousands of years, cycling through the loch, flowing in from streams and burns that come down from the high places, flowing out through the river Ness toward the sea. You are part of that cycle now, your breath becoming part of the air that hangs above the water, your presence becoming part of the history of this place. As your mind begins to drift, allow yourself to notice the small sounds that accompany this scene. The gentle lap of water against stone. The whisper of wind through the heather that grows on the hillsides. The occasional call of a night bird, distant and muted. These are the sounds of a place that is fully alive, yet fully at rest. They are not the sounds of activity or urgency, but rather the quiet soundtrack of a world that has learned to move at its own pace, that follows rhythms far older than the rhythms of human concern. The night is deep now, and the loch seems to have settled into an even deeper stillness. The moon has moved further across the sky, and the angle of its light has shifted, so that the water now reflects it in a slightly different way. This is the kind of night that makes you understand why people have always been drawn to water, why cultures throughout history have built their most sacred places near lakes and rivers and seas. Water has a way of reflecting not just light, but also something of the soul. It shows you yourself if you look into it, and it also shows you something beyond yourself, something vast and timeless and deeply peaceful. The shores of Loch Ness are home to various small creatures that move through the night with their own quiet purposes. A fox might pad softly along the water's edge, its ears alert to sounds you cannot hear. An otter might slip silently into the water, leaving barely a ripple. These creatures are part of the loch's ecosystem, part of its story, part of what makes this place feel so alive even in its quietness. They have adapted to this landscape over countless generations, and they move through it with a grace and certainty that speaks of deep belonging. The air above the loch is cool and clean, untainted by the pollution and noise of the modern world. It is the kind of air that seems to go deeper into your lungs when you breathe it, that seems to carry oxygen more efficiently, that seems to calm your nervous system simply by being breathed. If you were here physically, you might notice how your breathing would naturally slow and deepen in response to this air, how your body would begin to release tensions you were not even aware you were holding. Time moves differently at Loch Ness, or perhaps it does not move at all. Perhaps it simply exists, spread out like the moonlight across the water, present in all moments simultaneously. The loch was here before you were born, and it will be here long after you are gone, and in that knowledge there is a kind of peace that is hard to describe but easy to feel. It is the peace that comes from understanding that you are part of something much larger than yourself, something that has endured and will continue to endure long after your own small struggles have faded away. The moonlight continues its slow work, painting the water with silver and shadow, creating patterns that seem almost alive in their complexity. Your eyes, if they were open, would follow these patterns, would trace the pathways of light across the surface, would gradually become heavier and heavier as the rhythm of the light began to match the rhythm of your own body, your own heartbeat, your own breath. The boundary between watcher and watched begins to blur, until you are no longer sure whether you are looking at the loch or whether the loch is looking at you, whether you are the one reflecting the moonlight or whether the moonlight is reflecting you. The night deepens further, and with it comes a sense of profound safety. You are held here, cradled by the ancient hills and the patient water, surrounded by a peace that is as real and solid as the earth beneath your feet. This is a place where nothing bad can reach you, where the concerns of the day cannot penetrate, where you can simply be, simply exist, simply rest. The loch has been offering this gift to those who seek it for thousands of years, and it offers it to you now, freely and without condition. As you drift deeper still, allow yourself to notice how your body has become heavier, how your limbs seem to sink into whatever surface supports them, how your eyelids have become almost impossibly heavy. This is not the heaviness of fatigue or burden, but rather the heaviness of deep relaxation, the weight of a body that has finally given itself permission to rest completely. Your muscles, which may have been tense for so long that you forgot they were tense, begin to release their grip, to soften, to let go. The water of the loch continues its gentle movement, the waves continuing their patient, endless rhythm. Wave after wave, moment after moment, the loch persists in its quiet work of healing and soothing, of offering sanctuary to all who come to it seeking peace. The moonlight continues to paint its patterns, the hills continue to stand in their ancient silence, and you continue to drift deeper into a state of rest that is becoming more and more complete with each passing moment. There is nothing you need to do here. There is nothing you need to achieve or accomplish or understand. You are simply here, in this moment, in this place, breathing the cool air of the highlands, watching the moonlight dance across the water, feeling yourself become part of the loch's eternal stillness. The rest you need is here, waiting for you, patient and gentle and absolutely free. Allow yourself to take it now, to sink into it completely, to let the moonlit waters of Loch Ness carry you gently into the deep sleep that your body and mind so deserve.